The Democrat Party is not just immediately racist here in the present day, they've been racist their entire existence. Back in 1856, a Republican senator by the name of Charles Sumner was bludgeoned half to death by a Democrat Congressman, Preston Brooks, on the Senate floor because 2 days prior he was making an anti-slavery speech. Imagine that. On the Senate floor, Republicans getting beaten half to death for trying to end slavery. And then you look at all the other things that the Democrats have pushed throughout the years. 1861, the Democrats refused to show up to Abraham Lincoln's inauguration because Abraham Lincoln had the audacity to want to end slavery. You have Democrats forming the KKK. You have Democrats pushing Jim Crow laws. And in the 40s, you have Democrats pushing redlining, locking black people out of building generational wealth in their district. It's over the past century.
Joe Biden says the death of George Floyd is bigger than the assassination of Dr. Martin Luther King. Are you kidding me? How in the world could you even put those two in the same category? Dr. Martin Luther King specifically, I'll come back to this. Dr. Martin Luther King knew he was putting himself in harm's way every single day. He championed causes that truly did change our country forever. His causes were righteous, they were just, they were true. And he got death threats. And yet he still willingly put himself on the line every single time he went out to speak. I believe, I've seen a documentary, I believe that he had a death threat. He even knew he had a death threat the day that he was assassinated, but he said he had to go. He must go. He must speak. He was not willing to allow them to silence him. To suggest, and it's a tragedy, that George Floyd died, but to suggest that George Floyd in any way whatsoever comes close to what Dr. Martin Luther King did for this country shows you truly how shallow Joe Biden is and how little he truly believed and thought of the great Dr. Martin Luther King. It's not actually unusual for Biden to cheapen the death of Martin Luther King Jr. In his time in the Senate, Joe Biden usually sided with segregationists and helped pass legislation like Bill Clinton's crime bill that led to the mass incarceration of blacks in this country. Biden made the claim that MLK's death had less impact on the world than that of George Floyd. That would be true if you were rioting and looting as positives. If you viewed rioting and looting as positives, make no mistake, Floyd's death is both tragic and criminal in nature, but having more impact on the world, you heard what I shared, absolutely disgusting. Here's